Yeah. So after all that, you know, they went to bed. I went to bed. But before I got there, I had noticed up in the sky that what I was seeing was. I'm not 100% if its name was that, but I saw the Aurora Borealis, or that's what I've been calling it basically. I don't I can't remember if that's the actual name of it, but it's like the Aurora Borealis, but instead of seeing greens in the sky, greens and blues, I saw reds and oranges and pinks, and it was super cool. Um, that night was really fun. Um, and then, went to bed and woke up at 7 in the morning again. And that was the day I decided I wanted to go to the beach. So I had fun walking around the beach and jumping in the water, and it was really nice. It was a good day. Lots of food, though. Lots of food. And the next day, we decided to go on an excursion, which was the pirate ship. Ugh. This is, hands down, my favorite excursion I've ever been on. So, two of the resorts, my resort and the resort next to us, and the one on the other side, all connected. On the one to the left of the resort that we were on, connected by the beach, but the other one connected by a walkway. So, for the price of, I think it was like 80 American dollars per person, you could pay for a ticket. It was a meal ticket / a show ticket. So you would get to choose steak or lobster, and then watch the show. So we hopped on the boat. Me and my mom went up to the upper deck and sat up there to watch down, and there was a lot of games. There was a lot of cool stuff. So the minute you got on the boat, you saw a bunch of people dressed up like pirates, and one guy who was very recognizably dressed up like Captain Jack Sparrow. And I laughed because I was like, that's awesome. Like, I didn't know that was what the ship was about. So we go upstairs, we're sitting down, we're enjoying the show, and a bunch of things are going on. There's some drinking games, there's some drunken, like, musical chairs like game, lots of running up and down and picking people out, and then there's some stuff. And the one thing I didn't kind of like is they kind of like, here's some dance moves that we're going to show you to do, and while this is going on, you just got to do those dance moves. Nah, I ain't cool with that. So I half-assed that, and they weren't really happy about that one, but my mom understood, like, you're not into it, and I'm like, I'm definitely not. But they showed they showed off some really cool stuff, and they did kind of a dance show. They played some Michael Jackson, and a couple of the crew danced like Michael Jackson, and that was really fun. And all the while, the guy is actually acting like he's Captain Jack Sparrow and running around, and they're playing the music, and the boats on the water, and like we're seeing dolphins on the side if you could pay attention. Like, there was a few people who literally didn't see it, but if you paid just enough attention, you could see the dolphins on the right side of the boat just out the water. Like, it was incredible and not even faked, and it was like nice. And then the food was half decent. We had a good time. And they started doing this show, another part of the show, where the girl was tied up by ribbons and like falling down the mast and spinning around and twisting herself back up as if it was Cirque du Soleil. Like, it was awesome. And we were like, what is going on? Like, and there was just enough net, just like where we were on the upper deck, there was another layer above that, and they just netted that whole thing. So just in case she fell or something, she would land in the net. And then after we ate, they did this incredible closing show where there's another pirate ship, and on that pirate ship is Captain Hook. And so Captain Hook and Captain Jack Sparrow and their crews all come together. The boats dock each other. There's sword fighting and guns going off and cannons being shot. Fake ones, of course. But they all fight, and then apparently by applause is how they figure out who wins. We get to choose who wins the fight. It was awesome. So there's a lot of stab, and then round of applause for who won tonight. And we're like, huh? Captain Hook? Yeah. Captain Jack Sparrow? Ah! I mean, I bought some souvenirs. I bought an eye patch and a bandana and a fake sword. And it was all fun. It was really fun. It was a good trip. I loved that. Loved that trip too. That was another one. Anyway, so after that, we spent the rest of the time partying with those people and enjoying food and working out. Well, I did anyway. And then after that, went home. And then my third trip was Jamaica again. Except this time I paid, so we went for my mom's birthday, and as the surprise, I was like, well, I think we should go back to the same place that you took me on my 16th birthday. Except now, I was 21. So this time, I could do all the fun stuff, right? All the fun stuff. So, we got there, and now I'm older, so now I could get into the places that I couldn't get into. Not that there was a lot. There really wasn't. And this time we went back and we were seeing all the people that I remembered from the first time I'd been there, and they remembered us. And they were just like, oh my God, you guys are back. And I was like, I told you I'd be back. I couldn't forget this place. Couldn't get it out of my mind. Had to come back. What's really interesting is I keep this out of the first story because this just makes me laugh even harder when I tell it as part of the second. So, the first time on the trip, we went to one of the shows they were doing. So every day, for a week, they would do these dance shows. Different cultures, different dances, and then these shows. So, the first time, the director, the games director, we happened to talk to him and kind of make friends with him, my mom and I. And for some reason, I guess the way I was dressed and the way I looked at the time, he confused me for Chris Brown, which in some cases, that's very much a very nice compliment. But on the other hand, I don't really look like Chris Brown. So when he saw me the second time on the trip, he sees me, he's like, hey, Chris Brown. I'm like, oh God, dude, you totally remember that, don't you? And so we talked, we said hello, and went back to each other's businesses, and me and my mom were exploring the resort because now we had taken the more expensive side. We saved up a whole bunch of money and went to the more expensive, exclusive side. And on this side of the resort that was newly built, there's a bunch of cats running all over the place from like 8 o'clock at night, like 7:30 at night to about 2 o'clock in the morning. These cats fucking owned the resort. These cats were everywhere. And on this trip, I was like, I'm just gonna relax, gonna have fun, meet some people. Met some people from Ontario, kind of got friendly, hung out with them. They had a friend who has family out in Jamaica, so they went to visit his family, and the one guy got his hair done in braids, and like they were super fun to be around. It was really cool, and it was the first time as well that and it was really sad too, my mom got sick while on the trip, so she was in bed a lot of the time and didn't want to go out unless it was night, because that's the only time she was really feeling better. So while there, I was mostly by myself, running around during the daytime, doing stuff, running around in the pool, hanging out with people, talking to people, It was really interesting. And I guess some of the people I met had gone and talked to my mom and asked, like, is it just you guys on the trip? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we'll keep a lookout for your son. He's a really cool dude. We like him, and we'll definitely keep an eye and make sure he's okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they said this while I was sitting there, so I'm like, well, thanks, guys. That's interesting. Now, on the resort, there was this club. Um, the first time, I didn't really go a whole lot to the club, but there was a few times that I did. And in the few times, the first time, this really, really, really short guy approached my mom. My mom's not super tall, but she's near 6 feet. And this guy was like 4'9", 4'8", came up to my mom and started flirting and, looked at me and, hope you don't mind if I buy your mom a drink. And I was like, what? Okay. You do you, dude. Have fun. So he approaches my mom and she accepts the drinks and say thank you and all this stuff. And he's just like, so, how old are you since your son's like 20? And I was like, no, he's 16. What? Ooh, he got real. He was a really nice guy, but he also really quickly was like, whoa, and like left. We didn't see it to the end of the trip. Also, that first trip was also my first experience with a woman twerking. That was a good day. That was a very interesting and good day. The good day is that the day was honestly really good. Like, I had a lot of fun walking and exploring and checking out the stores and stuff, and really getting to spend time with my mom like that was really fun. And then at night when we went to the club and we were starting to meet people, that was really cool. But now it kind of got awkward because a lady backed up on me, started dancing, and I was so stunned and shocked and surprised because she just randomly came up to me. I kind of froze and was like, oh, wow, well then. And then she's like, what's wrong? And she looked over to my mom and she's like, oh my God, is that your girlfriend? I'm so sorry. And my mom laughed and my mom looked at her and said, no, that's my son. And she lost it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How old is he? 16. Boom. She was just like, oh my God, I have a son your age. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's okay. You couldn't have known. You couldn't have known. So now, for that second trip, when I walked back up in that club, now that I had some of these people from the resort from the last time there starting to recognize me, I had a couple guys be like, yo, it's been a long time. What are you doing back here? And I'm like, vacation. Brought my mom out here for her birthday. How was fun? And they're like, nice, man. So there's a couple people on there. We met a lot of new people, had a lot of fun at the club. I actually danced a little bit more than I did the last time I was there. We went to the Luminous Lagoon again because that was just really fun. Did a small tour of the city. Drove on the outskirts. Tried to go party once more. Kind of worked out. Not really, but kind of. This guy wanted to take my mama, and my mom said only if my son comes. And he was like, okay, cool. So he took us out to this place. And when we got there, we went upstairs, and the place was kind of dead. And then my mom lets me know that we went too early, and the clubs only start jumping around midnight. Before then, there's no point in going. There's just people chilling, waiting for the party to start. And I didn't know what that meant. Like, I was just newly 21, and I'm like, okay. I thought parties just go on whenever they go on, but if that's okay. So I got tired and was like, yeah, I think I'm done for the night. So, we went back to the resort, and the guy was a little disappointed, but, whatever. That's how shit goes. And that trip was a little shorter, and that was more about, my mom and relaxation than it was about like just going and partying. And then not too long ago, last year, actually year before now, we went to Jamaica one more time. Now, my mom is at this point starting to get over Jamaica. Like, okay, I've done it. I've gone there. I've seen a bunch of stuff. That's it. I don't want to go no more. But I'm still all about it. I'm like, yo, I needs to go back. Like, please, one more time. Like, let's go. So, so we went. I'm now 23. And I'm like, okay, let's go to a different resort. One we haven't been to before. See some new shit. And we do. We go see some new shit. We go to a whole new resort, never been to. Huge, massive. We end up at a resort that my mom had been looking at for two reasons. One was this business thing that Portia Williams was supposed to be at. Two, there was also supposed to be not just this thing for women and Portia Williams, but also this party. I was like, look, this party's supposed to be there. Let's go do that if that's where we're going. And I said, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, for sure. So we get onto this resort, and this resort is so huge. The Lady Hamilton. Huge fucking resort. Two sides to it, two different completely, like, oh my God. So we are on the left side, far left side, second floor. The room's bomb, 2 beds, nice ass balcony, nice looking room, cold floors. And in a hot country, cold floors are the best. So now, this shit made me die a little. So I'm going to explain the party part. Because the party part is, honestly, it was amazing. I could not believe the amount of events that happened. So I'll start getting to the resort and then the party. So getting to the resort on the shuttle, before we got on, we had seen some people. Hey, remember this from last time and the last time, like, what's up, how's it going, blah, 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 talking to drivers, all this stuff, making conversation, trying to smoke. I don't smoke, but my mom smokes. So there's that, and we hop on the shuttle, and just before it takes off, we see this woman who looks like my aunt. Like, really looked like my aunt, that I almost went, Auntie? Like, what? But then her face, even though it looks super familiar and super like my aunt, we're like, yo, we know your face. So as she's walking past us, we go, excuse me, you kind of look like, and she says, no, I don't look like I am her, and like sits down. Like, and we're like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you, and blah, blah. And it's fucking Raquel from TMZ. And I shit you not, she looks so much like family that I was like, yo, you may think we were recognizing you as being Raquel from TMZ, but it was full on like, you look like my auntie. Like, and we were gonna tell her until she did that, and we're like, nah, you know what? That's cool. Like, no worries. So we're like, yo, okay. Well, what are you doing down here? And nobody else is really recognizing her until they realize that we're talking to her. And then they're kind of going like, oh shit, it's Raquel. And she's like, well, I'm just down here celebrating my birthday, all this stuff. And we're like, oh, that's kind of why we're down here too. Except it's just some vacation time as well. And we're like, well, happy birthday. And then her boyfriend gets on the bus, and we head out. And halfway, we stop at this place, and we get off the bus, and my mom goes to the bathroom, and some other people are trying to go to the restroom, and all this stuff. And Raquel and her boyfriend have walked to the far side, talking to each other, whatever. So I come into this place, this bar, restaurant, shack-like place, and I go to the left where I see some tables. So I go sit down there, and like these dudes pull up in this old car, hop out, trying to sell some hash. And I'm like, yo, sorry, I don't do none of that. And they're like, okay, bless. I'm like, thank you. And they also are like still walking around the corner. Raquel and her boyfriend kind of walk up to where I am, interested in what the hell's going on. And the guy's trying to sell it. And then Raquel's boyfriend's like, nah, I don't do none of that. No, thank you. And they go, okay. And they leave off and try to talk to the other people, but not a lot of people came off the bus. And then my mom goes, gets a beer, goes, has a smoke. We hop in the bus and we head out. And when we get to the resort, we're just like, wow, this place is awesome. It's so big. And Raquel gets off on one side and we get off on the other side. And we're like, yo, can't believe it. We just met Raquel. Oh! We're all hyped about it because we're like, yo, this trip is already turning out to be way better than we thought it was going to be. And we're on the dope resort that we really wanted to go on. So now we go, and a few days pass, and it's the night of the party. Now, I'm tired. I'm tired to a level that I'm like, yo, I am so sorry, Mom, but I'm going to have to dip out. Like, I need to go lay down. I'm done for the night. I just need to stay inside. And she's like, you sure? And I'm like, I'm sure. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to stay out. So she stays up with some of the people that we met, and she's drinking and smoking, and I'm back in the room watching TV, and I got a hold of American Netflix in Jamaica, so I'm watching Elementary, because I am a nerd like that. So I'm enjoying Elementary, because I had started it once upon a time, but I never finished it, so I was watching it from the beginning, and I'm like halfway through the first season, loving it, and I'm like, I'm hungry. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go back to the buffet, I'll get some food, and I'll come back and I'll go lay down. Like, no big deal. So I get up and I make sure before I leave the room to text my mom and go, yo, just so you know, if you're looking for me, I'm over at the sports bar. Come find me if that's where you're heading. She's like, okay. So I go to eat. I'm eating halfway, and I see this woman that looks like my mom. And for some reason, I don't know why, I didn't recognize my own mother, but I didn't. I just saw her, she was smoking, and she was walking, and then she sees me, she's like, yo, we need to go now. And I'm like, what, huh? What are you talking about? And she's like, we need to go right now, the party's starting. And I was just like, what party? And I'm like, oh, you mean the party you're looking for? So this is wild. So we're looking all over the place, and we're lost, and my mom tells me how she saw Young Jock and how he told her where the party was and that he was looking for it, and it was just about to start and all this stuff. So she ran to go find me, and accidentally only found me at the sports bar because that's where she was heading anyway. So she found me, we head out, we're looking, fucking lost. We see this area, and I'm like, that might be it, but I'm not too sure. Let's take this path up on the left, and we'll see. So we head to the left, we're heading up there, we're walking up there, and we're like, oh my God, where is this place? We've been walking for maybe like 20 minutes, and we're like, okay, I don't think it's this way. So we turn around, we're heading back the way we're heading, and who do we see again? We see Raquel and her boyfriend, and they see us, and they're like, hey, like, how's it going? Are you enjoying the trip? How you liking it? All this stuff. And it turns out that they got off too early, and they're on our side of the resort anyway. So we're like, yo, again? So, you know, well, hope you're having a good birthday. Happy birthday and stuff again. And, you know, hope you guys have a good night. And they're like, yo, the party's really cool. But we're done. We had too much of a day. We're tired now. We're going to go to bed. But you know what? Here. we'll give this guys to you. We'll give these to you. So they take off their bracelets that they got at the party, and they gave us the bracelets. And now my mom's walking with purpose, and I'm walking behind her with my camera out because I'm like, oh my God, this just happened. I'm always the one to freak out like that. My mom's cool as a cucumber all the goddamn time. So we're heading to the area that we thought the party was in that general direction anyway. And as we head down, we're like, fuck, there's the party. So, shit you not, we literally walk past security. They don't check us or nothing. And who do we see sitting at a bench but Portia Williams and her goddamn sister? Beautiful queens. Oh my God. Look, there are only a few people in the world that I can say that, you know what, they would probably look just as good off camera as they do on camera. My mind was blown. I could not believe I just met her in person. Shook her hand, looked her in her face. Portia Williams. I'm not like a huge Housewives fan or nothing, but I watched a lot, like I did at some point watch a whole lot of TV with my mom. And one of the things I watched was Housewives, yes, but I also watched that radio show quite often with Portia on it, with Ricky Smiley and all of them, and Debrat. And I was like, oh my God, here's Portia Williams in my face, and she is beautiful. I was like, oh man. So I'm keeping my cool, being like, it's nice to meet you. How you doing? Whatever, all this stuff. I see her sister. I'm like, yo, this is really happening right now. And we just walk past security like what? Like we the boss. Like so we walk past and we go sit on the other side of the bench, and there's the DJs fucking scratching it up, changing the music, playing it, boop boop. Everybody's whoop whoop. Everybody's dancing. It was amazing. I have videos. Maybe I'll post them one day. But what was really cool is while we're sitting next to the DJ, there's also one guy who just kept dancing, shirtless, kept dancing, woo woo. And he starts dancing with Portia, he starts dancing with his sister. He just came out of nowhere. Don't know who this dude is. And I'm sitting next, so where the DJ was, it was at this up podium where some benches were in the sand. And then there's a downstairs that leads to another bar that's just real off to the side. You don't really see it. So while that's going on, there's also a drone camera up there, and then there's photographers. Now, I had my camera out, and I'm taking pictures of the scene because I'm like, yo, this is dope. Like, yo. And I realized that two of the people there are also doing the same thing I am. And the one guy looks at me, nods to me, and the chick who's taking professional photos with her phone look at me and nod at me. And I realized, because I have my camera out and I'm taking photos, and I'm not taking photos of the people upstairs, I'm taking photos of the people downstairs, they immediately think I'm a camera dude too. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, I'll take some videos. Fuck, let's do this. So I'm taking videos, I'm taking pictures, and I'm sitting right next to the DJ. And then I look down at the downstairs part, and at the downstairs part is fucking Young Jock and this dude who looks like T-Pain, but he's not T-Pain. I don't know who he was. He might have been Rel for all I know, Lil Rel, but I don't know. It kind of looked like the one or two of them, but I was like, yo, that's Young Jock. And I go to my mom, I'm like, Mom, I see Jock. And she's like, what? I'm like, I see Young Jock downstairs. And she's like, oh. And Young Jock fucking leaves downstairs, comes upstairs. We say what's up. And I'm like, yo, it's going down. I was like, so I'm taking photos, trying to look all professional and shit. I'm taking other photos. I'm like, click, 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 click. Hey, what's up? Props, dude. Like, love your music. Click, click, click. I'm like, this shit is really happening. But I'm also trying to take other pictures too, because I'm like, yo, I can't focus on these guys, even though they're the stars, because I gotta act professional right now. Because I don't know if this is really like they really know we're not professional, or we're just fucking around or some shit. They don't know. So we're just gotta act like we're supposed to be here. So we're doing that, and one of the DJs starts playing. Like one DJ was playing all the music, all the hype music, all the music everybody's getting down to, and then the next DJ was playing. He's playing some soft ass music that no, like he was playing all that romance shit, like that's nice R&B. But anyway, I gotta go.